Hello everyone, this is Cliff. Welcome back to our Let's Play of Dark Souls, the Prepare to Die edition. Now, one thing I wanted to show you before we get on with the rest of the video is the merchant that I was talking about. Because we are a member of the Forest Covenant, he is in, as you can see, Blighttown. And here's his bodyguard.
Hello again. Strange to meet away from the clan and the forest. But while you are here, how about some equipment? I love collecting these things, and you know, you are a friend. I'll sell them cheap.
Alright, I can learn a jester. Yay. And now he has several different weapons. Some of these I already have. Basically have, I think, all of these first four. But these two are what I'm looking for. The Uchigatana and the washing pole. I will probably end up buying both of these once I get the money. Also, this claw weapon's pretty neat. But that'll be for a different time. I just wanted to show you where he was located. When we get back, I'll probably be, definitely be in New Londo Ruins, and we'll go through that and try to defeat the Four Kings. Hello everyone, this is Cliff. Welcome back to our Let's Play of Dark Souls, the Prepare to Die edition. Just finished that little short intro video, and I'm actually doing the commentary after the fact in this. But I just wanted to go over some of the things that I had done off camera. Basically, I farmed a bunch of humanity in the depths. And that's just preparation for when I go through the Daughter of Chaos area. I've also got a little bit more equipment now. I've got, I'm going to take that binoculars off just in case I need to actually use that humanity for healing. So right now we've got a fully charged Quelaag's Fury Sword with 10 humanity, so that's pumping out a lot of damage. Basically the same armor set as before. I've got another ring with me this time. Instead of that ring of steel protection, I've also got that spell Stoneplate ring, which will boost magic defense because the boss actually has a magic component to his damage. And I've also packed the Crest Shield, which is worse physically but better against magic. And that's just in preparation for the boss. With those two items, the boss actually becomes pretty easy. I've also got a Divine Uchigatana, which I bought from that merchant in Blighttown. And I'm using the Divine Upgrade Path on it. I brought along the Jagged Ghost Blade because there's a little area in going to the boss where I might actually have to use that to fend off a couple of ghosts. Excuse me. I've also got a Magic Iato. And again, most of that is just for achievement points. Probably will never actually use the Magic Iato. I will definitely use this Divine Uchigatana in the Catacombs. It will help me clear out some skeletons. Also, just upgraded to the Great Sword of Artorias. I obviously don't have the stats to use that yet. That is not the cursed version. That's the actual true to life version that you use your initial equipment to upgrade to that. Again, this Magic Iato probably never use. Also bought the Divine Washing Pole, and this will actually, or I guess it would just be the washing pole. I'm doing the Divine Path for right now, but once it gets to +5, it will actually be put on the Occult Path. And again, that's just for achievements. Bought a claw as well and fully upgraded it to the raw +5 version. So now that we've kind of gone over a little bit of what I did off camera, let's get into New Londo Ruins proper. I did not bring any transient curses with me because I'm going to try to avoid as many ghosts as possible. The first couple of ghosts that you fight coming off of this bridge, I'm just going to run around. In draining the water, you actually kind of open up a shortcut down to the bottom. So we're just going to give that ghost a wide berth. And if you have to step a little carefully over here, but you'll actually notice that ledge that you can fall on. You will take no damage. And if you fall onto that top part there, you'll take almost no damage as well. Now, there is a Dark Wraith right there that you have to be very careful of depending on where you drop. It can be pretty much waiting to attack you right away. And again, like most of the night, quote-unquote, creatures, it's usually pretty easy to get behind him and do a lot of damage. Now, up here, the first time you come through here, there's a couple of Dark Wraith enemies, and there's a couple of ghosts, as you can see that right there. There's 2 or 3 ghosts that you do actually have to watch out for, especially if you pull a Dark Wraith and a ghost at the same time. Now, that's his grab attack. Try not to get hit by that, but once he does it, it's actually pretty easy to come around him and stab him in the back. And then it's just one hit and it's over. The first time you come through here, you will face a mass of souls, but once you defeat him, he won't come back. So I tried to switch to my dagger and draw out the ghost that I saw, but just could not get that ghost to come out into an area where I had the advantage. So what I'm going to do is basically put the knife away and re-equip my Fury Sword and just charge into the middle of the room. Now, there are a couple of other ghosts, so this can actually be a risk-reward strategy. I get lucky here in that I'm in the backstab animation when they attack me, so no actual damage to me. So I'm going to switch out to my knife and just kind of nickel and dime these ghosts to death right here. Okay, now in that chest is a Titanite chunk, which at this point, not great. You can farm those actually a little bit easier, especially with the humanity I've got now and the Covetous Gold Serpent Ring. I can actually farm those in the area in Anne Orlando. Now there's a guy off to the right over there. I'm not going to face him. There's just no need. There's nothing over there. So we're just going to bust through this fog gate. And there is an actual NPC that can help you. It's the same NPC that helped when we were fighting that, well, basically who killed the Moonlight Butterfly for me. Now I've switched equipment up to increase my magic resistance. Now I don't like summoning that NPC because it actually gives the boss a few more hit points, and if you have any type of decent armor against magic, and with this pretty much fully charged Koilak's Fury Sword with the +10 humanity, this boss fight becomes fairly easy. You just have to remember to you want to make sure that boot is up in the top left. That means you've got the proper ring on. If you ever take that off during the boss fight, you get killed. So now I've got Estus Flask and Humanity in my quick item bar down there, and that's just purely for hit point recovery should I need it. That's a long way down these spiral staircases. I don't know if you can actually drop down from the very beginning. I just don't know. I didn't try that. I didn't want to risk that. There will be some souls in the abyss from my scouting run, and we will actually collect that. The good news is that my soul drop actually puts me closer to where the first of the 4 kings actually drops in. Despite the fact that they are called 4 kings, they will revive, and you can have as many as I think 3 attacking you at the same time. So that means even if they're near the end of their life, and you're fighting the very quote unquote last king, you can have 2 more spawn in after you. Now, that's something that you obviously don't want to happen. It's a lot harder in this game, as you've seen with the Ornstein and Smoke fight. It's a lot harder in this game to fight 2-on-1, 3-on-1. Even regular enemies can give you a problem with that, much less boss enemies that do more damage. So we're going to drop off here. And you can see my souls off in the background. So we're going to haul ass over there to get our souls. And once that shows up, you know the first boss is here. And for me, it's really hard to see where they're at. That attack does a fair amount of damage if you don't have magic resistance, but if you do, it's not really that bad. Hardest part for me during this fight was sometimes actually hitting them. I would be a little bit too far away, but some of their stabbing attacks and all of that nature will put them way out of touch with you. Now, fortunately, the second one pops in pretty quickly, and we're gonna try to get to the side of him, and he misses horribly. And I roll out on that one and just tried to pound them whenever I can. These guys really honestly couldn't do a whole lot of damage to me. I mean, that was a clean hit and he did very little damage. Now I did roll away from that. That is kind of a grab attack, and that is the one attack that you really have to watch out for, because not only will it do a lot of damage, but it also takes humanity. And as you see, we had to burn Anestus Flask right there. So this guy's a little bit further away, and he will get their magic attack off. Now this is a pain in the butt. It's just really hard to time it. You have to see it a lot more than I have, obviously, to time that a little bit better. But these guys, honestly, if you've got decent magic defense, see, I'm just not even blocking half of their attacks. I'm just two-handing my weapon, and they're not really doing anything to me. I didn't block any of his attacks, and he barely got me down to half hit points. So at this point, we're well ahead of the game. So we're just going to bum rush this last guy. He misses with that attack, and so we can just two-hand and go to town on him. And again, he had half of his life left. You can actually attack the boss when he's in his death animation, and it will count against the greater hit point pool. So that guy died with probably 2/5 of his life left. That unlocks a bonfire, and if you haven't already placed the Lord Vessel, there will be another primordial serpent here. Obviously he won't show up because we've already done all that. So that is pretty much the Four Kings. Not necessarily the toughest boss fight in the world, but if you don't have the proper equipment, it can be a fairly difficult fight. Like I say, if you're more built for physical defense and no magic defense, you can have a rough go, because those attacks do a lot more damage. But with the proper items, that basically this fight becomes kind of a joke. So at this point, we're just going to warp back to the Firelink Shrine, and I think the next stop is the Catacombs. I think that's where I want to go next, especially with that Divine Uchi Katana. So this has been the Four Kings. This is Cliff. I hope everybody takes care, and I will see you later. Goodbye.